Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 40 on our single player world. This is a very special episode if you do not know what it is. Well, I mean, you know the number, but it is a shader world tour episode with a world tour download, and that'll be down in the description right now. So have a look at that if you guys want to download the world and play along and check it out yourself. As of course, there's a link down in the description. So definitely check that out. But for now, we're going to get started. And of course, I'm using my seat, which I think worked very, very well, surprisingly. I mean, not that I was expecting it to work badly, but yeah, I didn't think it was going to work at all, to be completely fair. So today we are starting off here in the office of our person who controls the snowy village. And we're not going to be spending too much time in the snow village. What I like to do in these things is I like to kind of walk around, tour a few of the things we've got done, speak about some of the things that we're going to be doing in the future, and overall just enjoying the shaders, because shaders make the world look very, very beautiful. So do not be fooled. I may have built some things looking a little bit good, but the shaders do help a lot. And if you guys are wondering what shaders these are, they're very easy to come across, and in my opinion, they're the best shaders for vanilla Minecraft. If you want to play with shaders, that is Sildo's Enhanced Default Shaders. Also, of course, my texture pack will be down in the description. There's not too much changed, so you guys can download that as well. But as I say, these are very, very basic shaders, and they work very, very well for darkness and in the light as well, so that is why I chose them here. So, starting off, this is pretty much where we left off in the last 20 episodes, and I think it's good to kind of get an appreciation for just how crazy this world has been. For the past 2 months, we've been working on this. I don't think it's even 2 months just yet in this world. It's crazy. But for the past 2 months, we've been working, and we've got 40 episodes down where we've actually got a lot done. And I was beginning to think, man, we haven't done too much in the last 20 episodes. But now that I'm coming down to doing a list of the things that we've achieved, it has been absolutely insane how much stuff we've got done. And a lot of different ideas as well, more importantly, not as such getting started with big projects, but continuing on the big projects. Some projects we thought were going to be a bit quicker, and others we thought were going to be a lot more easier to get started. But of course, we've got a few new places here. Of course, this little house here was one of the first ones I think I did in the past 20 episodes. And it's probably one of my favorite small houses that I've made in a very long time. And it's just a very simple one. It's got no bed because I've stolen that. Because, of course, beds are everywhere in this world. But it's just a little bit of an addition to the snowy village. And one of my favorite ideas, actually, that we've come up with, it was in the last few episodes, which has worked out better than I expected. And now that I'm going to point it out, you're going to see right around here. Look at that. You can see the string doing these little patterns over here. And it's working so well to try give us this illusion of the snow falling everywhere else except for in these areas. And it definitely does its job. There's no snowfall in there. And that is great. Because if you don't know, this is a snow biome. So whenever it rains in the world, it snows over here and creates these snow layers. And that's not really too good for us. Another building that we built, of course, was that house right over here. Let me go back into this. That house there, that wasn't very, very good, in fact. I'm not very, very happy with that. Same as I'm not 100% happy with the bakery, but we're definitely going to be adding in a lot more things, just stuff around this village, and it's going to require us to finish the last bit of mountain area, which is from over here, right there, to over there, and that will be the last bit of mountain to cover this village in with what I was expecting, at least, for it to be held in a little bit of an area where basically if it gets attacked, it's going to be cornered against the wall. And that's what I really, really want. So this house over here, of course, I do enjoy quite a bit. The fireplace, this going up to here, it just works very, very well. And I'm pretty happy with this one. This is the hunter's house, and I think it works very well. So continuing on here, this is going to be a quick little recap. We've done a lot of terraforming in this area, and a lot of just plain basic terraforming, so just getting shapes of things, because this is when I said a bit earlier, the job that takes a lot of work, this was it. I was expecting this to take a while, and I think I horribly underestimated it. It's a lot of work, and I think it's definitely turning out well. I like the way this is looking, but it's a big one. So one little bit of stuff to show you here, because obviously the terrain, the landscape is awesome to look at, but you can only look at it for so long. And if you guys want to check it out, definitely, we'll download. You know it's there. But this little thing was also a cool little thing to add in, which was a viewer suggestion, and it was absolutely awesome. Now, this area here was actually our last time lapse, and probably the last bit of terraforming we're going to show today. But this area here was a nice little thing to add in here taking out a bunch of land to form this, and this is really what I'm looking for, where we're going to have a very snowy area over there, and it's going to transition to a bit more of a greener area here. So it's going to be splitting up the two main biomes that we're creating, the custom biomes we're creating. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure I built this rock after the last 20 episodes. I'm very, very sure I did that. And inside this rock is a little bit of a secret, which a lot of you will know, obviously, so it's not really a secret anymore. But it's started to add in the magic into the world that we do, and I started off the series saying that I really do want to add a lot of magic in, and of course this, oh man, wasn't this a fun time? But yeah, it was an interesting thing to have built, and skeletons ruined our day. But it's the ice crystal that makes this whole area a cold, icy area, and I think it's definitely adding in that extra magical side of this world, and I think that's going to be really, really cool when we come down to it. So that's that rock there, and then of course, what is it to just have a rock without a little bit of interaction? You know, we can't just have a plain rock. I think it does look pretty cool, to be honest. It's the shape that I've got. I kind of thought it looks a little bit like a snail in many ways, but I love just the tree hanging off the side, stuff growing on it. There's even a bit of diorite on there as well, just hidden in there. And I think it looks really, really cool. Even like the stuff, the lily pads, the logs lying there. I want to even sink some boats. I reckon they'll be really cool. Just everything in there is going to be so, so awesome. Now, I hope I've got a bed around here somewhere. Let me quickly go sleep. I think there's one down here. We can quickly check up on our most recent project in this world. You can see we can't sleep at night, but apparently, yeah, I was going to say, the sun should be going down. So this project in front of us here, I'll quickly show you what's going on. This is going to be the start of our next semi-major project in this world, which is going to be a bit of a different thing. So we're going to be building, of course, for like beautiful builds inside of this, which is going to be a giant, we're going to hollow out the inside of this mountain, and it's going to be a giant kind of a challenge, like a gaming challenge, where we're going to have to get from here to on top where I was just standing there with the altar, using different strategies to, for instance, maybe fight something, maybe jump over a few obstacles, a few interesting things like that. I think will be really, really cool to make it a big challenge without elytra, of course, to get to the top here. And I think it'll just be a fun thing to do as far as it goes into becoming a very interactive world. I think that's very, very important. Now, there are a few issues which I've had with this world, and you'll see that over here, we do sometimes have an issue with this, and I don't know if I actually fixed this yet. But when I switch over to do a replay mod recording, which is basically how I do my cool time lapses, the observers in this world get bugged out, which is actually an issue with Curse. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's a bit horrible, but it's broken a few things. So all I have to do, if you guys have any issues with these, just break the observers, put them back. You should be able to get them to work. So this over here was a nice little thing. You sacrifice one diamond, it goes in, lights that. That should have lit. That's all right. Those two light up, and bam, over here we should get a nice little beam coming through in a few seconds. There we go. Look at that. Looking great. I really like it. It's a nice little interesting project, a bit different to what we normally do, and I think it's just something that adds in a little bit more to the world again. So, as I say, this 20 episodes has been a very awesome 20 episodes. There's so many different sorts of things that we've done, and I kind of, as I say, felt like I didn't really appreciate how much stuff we've done. And before I leave this area, by the way, of course we've got our watchtower, but one thing that I have struggled with is getting a good looking wagon for a very long time. And the only problem I have right now, and I need to figure this out, is the wheels. But I think I've done a pretty good job of getting these wheels to be sort of looking good, because you either get the wheels way too big for it, or the wheels look way too small. And I think this is a good in between to some extent, and I've hidden it with these bushes just to make it a little bit more sneaky. And of course, that's what it's looking like. I think that's looking really, really cool. And also, they have a story, because this world all is about having this immersive story. Because I mean, even adventuring in this world will be quite immersive, and that's what I really want. I want it to be from start to finish. When you walk around here, everything just draws you into the big story about the world. And of course, that's just a little bit of one, taking the wheat from the village to the docks over here. And I think that's a cool little thing. Just small things like that definitely make the world a lot more interesting, and also give me things to build, because you can't just build things. I've learned that very quickly from the last world. Is I used to build so many things just for the sake of building them, which is not a bad idea. It's a great way for me specifically to get better at building, which was my one thing I did want to do. And I think that was a very good thing to do there. And of course, I haven't patched up my island completely. But this over here, I'm not going to stand you too long because it's a very annoying sound after a while. But this kind of just is an extension of that ice crystal there with a little bit of an ice. What did I end up calling this? I can't even remember what I called this. But basically, this ice over here has a bit of light that's going in and out, fading out like that, which is a beautiful looking thing. When it does work, of course. And of course, the sound, which is what I said, gets a little bit annoying, but it's an interesting sort of thing. And a very pretty looking island, in my opinion. Because I like the magic. I want the magic to be in this world. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of something going on in the background. Now, I did say no more terraforming, but this was also completed in the last 20 episodes. And also, this bridge, which I need to build a lot more bridges. Bridges are really something that makes the whole world come together. And they're a nice little thing where you can show off a bit of detail. While many other builds, if for instance, if I put this level of detail into these houses with, like, for instance, even though this wasn't too crazy, but just doing different depth scales, like, look at that, like, different things going on here. We've got some walls with some fences, all playing in, connecting in different ways, and they look very, very interesting. But if you had to do that on these houses here, that just wouldn't look too interesting. Well, it wouldn't fit in with these houses, you know what I mean? We're trying to go for a basic village, and when we've got that level of detail, it wouldn't look too basic. But on a bridge, sorry, I think you can get away with it. I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking. Now, as far as that's concerned, I think there is nothing out that way. I may be forgetting something, but I want to quickly go right one thing that I have forgotten in the last 20 episodes, which I was called out for in my videos. I forgot to come back and check out my witch's cottage. It looks like there were blocks missing from there. It turns out there aren't. But as we go in here, we've got our zombie spawner over here. There's actually a zombie spawner right behind this wall. And it is spawning zombies that are going to be coming down this chimney. We might not even see them, but they're going to pop down the chimney, all just fall there. And it was a nice little thing. I thought it was kind of cool having a fireplace that spawns zombies in it. It was an interesting way of doing it instead of just having a normal, boring mob spawner. You know what I mean? Just the same thing you see all the time. And it's a bit more interesting. So let's go down here. I think that should be everything for now in this area. We'll go on a little bit of a trip to some of our farms now very quickly, and I want to show you the very last one of my favorite projects I've done to this day by the end of this video. So as we go through here, we're going into the end, and the reason I'm doing this, ignore the disgusting colors of my of my safety box. It's only here because I am not worried about losing that, and also that was what I had on me at the time. So here we go. If anyone wants to get around here, this is of course the portal to my main snowy village. That's my main village. And then of course up here, when we go over this way, we've got our other portals. And these portals here are going to be the cool ones, I guess. If you want to get to my mob farm, right over here. If you want to get to my flower farm, right over there. And what we're going to do is we're going to check out my mob farm, because this is going to be, if anyone wants to download stuff, this will be a good place to come to get some elytra, some rockets for the elytra. And not only that, it also is a pretty interesting thing to look at. Now, this farm was done by Ilmango, so I can't take any credit for it, and I definitely cannot explain what is going on here. So just take my word that it works, and that's all you need. So going down here, this thing is absolutely monstrous. It was a huge job. I think I did start it in the last 20 episodes, but I finished it in these. And the only thing it's lacking is a proper storage area, which is going to be connected in with this one over here, which is actually my sugarcane farm. Let me just go all the way to the bottom there, and I'll show you what's going on in here. So in this sugarcane farm, I decided to make something, it's not complete by the way, but I decided to make something that will keep as much sugarcane going into the water as possible. And what I came up with was the idea that breaking them with pistons tends not to work very well, although I've seen ideas that do work much better than mine. But having these slime blocks shoots it off and makes sure that these sugarcane don't get stuck on top of these blocks over here. And I think we've got a good decent amount of sugarcane coming on here. Look here, let's check how many more. I've emptied this relatively recently, so we don't have too much. But a nice little system. If you guys want to check it out, you know where it is right now. And it was a fun sort of build to play around with. Now, can I get that over? Let's check it if I can get this. Okay, yeah, nailed it. Perfect. All right, so going back up here, And I wish I could have activated my elytra, but unluckily we can't do that. But that's all right. There's only one more thing I want to show you here in the farm area, because I want to keep majority of my farms all kind of close together because they are a bit of an eyesore, and we can eventually probably put a big mountain around here or something just to hide these from the rest of the world. So that's done. That's done. Yeah, I'm probably forgetting something, but that's all right. You can explore it, or you can call me out for it in the comments for forgetting to show you something we've done in these last 20 episodes, because I'm going to. There's so many things that we've done. It's just impossible to get everything. And this is another one. Finishing off this properly, fixing it up, and I think it's looking very, very pretty. And it's blocks that I normally wouldn't use. A bit of jungle wood, a bit of spruce wood with the jungle wood. And I think that looks very, very cool. It's my big flower farm, which is completely inefficient, but it's a flower farm nonetheless. So this one here, oh man, I thought that was a creeper for once, for a little bit, but no, it's a zombie. That's good. Okay, so this farm over here, very quickly, is completely automatic. We've got ourselves this area here set up to set this off, break some stuff, and let it keep going, collect the stuff and everything. It's an awesome little farm. I've really enjoyed working on this. Of course, we've got the little tricky signal right there. How's that? I love that one so, so much. We'll switch it off here and everything should stop. Of course, we've got those as well. Let's switch that on and, is that? Oh, it's for that one there. My bad. I've actually got to label these. But yeah, just an interesting sort of build for me. I'm not a very, obviously we don't do too much redstone, but I do love my redstone. And when we get the opportunity to do it, I will definitely do more of it. And hopefully for you guys who don't enjoy redstone too much, we'll be able to get someone enthused about it, because it's a fun thing to do. And of course, here comes the storage, which won't actually be filled completely because sadly, this farm does not produce all of the flowers that we need. Because I overlooked something which I actually learnt about only once I built this farm, is that flower farms don't give you every flower that can, well, flower forest biome, my apologies, doesn't give you every single flower that you want, that it says it can produce. So, for instance, a flower forest is the only biome where you can spawn in, using bone meal, some red tulips, orange tulips, white tulips, pink tulips, all of those, peonies, oxeye daisies, everything. Pretty much every flower except for the two tall flowers, you won't be able to get with bone meal there, and orchids. But sadly, apparently certain blocks in these biomes can only spawn certain ones. So I don't have any blocks that spawn any tulips on it, for instance. And that is a bit sad because I really love the tulips and I would love to. So all we get is alliums, poppies, daisies, and a few others, but nothing too exciting. Oh, can I just, man, I'm going to die if I keep doing what I'm doing here. There we go. So this is the absolutely enormous 1 million ender pearl system. Look at that. That is ridiculous. And what's even more ridiculous is how long it's going to take us to fill this up and even just build this thing. Because I've only got up to these chests over here ready to collect stuff. And I think we're up to, yeah, about there. So that one's full. We're up to here with ender pearls. And this side hasn't started. So we've got a very long time for 1 million ender pearls. But using Mango's mob grinder, his ender killing device, we've managed to get as much levels as we can to be able to mend up our items and also get all of our enchantments on these things, which is really, really cool. And most importantly, start filling up our ender pearl area, which you can see here. I don't think we'll make it. Oh, you can see them. Ender pearls going up every now and then. It's not very obvious with the shaders, but that's what we've got there. So going up to the last little bit, and I know I've forgotten stuff, and what I'm actually going to talk about quickly is what I want to do in the next 20 episodes, by the way, and that is I want to get this shulker moving project on the way. So I've got stuck at a little spot, but we're going to continue on with our big mob switch in this world. So that is basically our way of switching off mobs in a completely survival friendly way, and we're going to still be able to have difficulty on hard, but of course we're going to be switching off the mobs in a sneaky way. Of course, I don't want to go to peaceful, and we'll talk about that in a few videos to come. So carrying on through the world here, what I want to still build is obviously this area here. We want to do that mob switch. I want to get a few more farms in that farming area as well, so it depends on what we are doing to what farm becomes the most important one to do. But for now, I think we can do a few simple ones. For instance, a cactus farm, probably some food farms, a few things like that. Maybe an interesting one. If you've got an interesting one, definitely let me know. and I will definitely get onto it. So let me go around here, and I'm on my way to the Mushroom Island biome, which you guys will know. And this has been one of my favorite projects to work on for many different reasons. But most importantly, actually, which is kind of a very weird one, but the fact that people have just been enjoying it. So many people have really loved this project. It's been a very interesting one. It's the Hobbiton, Hobbit Hole, uh, Lord of the Rings project. And this is an Patreon project as well, I guess. It's just an all-around massive project. And this is basically my idea of looking at pictures of Hobbiton, which is the set where The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings were made. And I think we've got a pretty good, somewhat close representation of it. And using the Mushroom Island biome, well, I'm lagged out right now, so nothing's moving. Let's give it a few seconds. Wonderful. That's good. Because I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna lose everything. I hope it didn't lag. I'm sure it probably did just lag out in the filming of this, but that's alright. So we've got a few little interesting things. Obviously, the very bright green grass and stuff, and I thought the green grass was awesome in the mushroom island biome because, of course, green grass is what you see in the picture. Very, very green and beautiful. This is a little design I came up with. I really love it. The wheelbarrow. I'm sure maybe those block combinations have been used before. I've never seen it used before. So if we've come across it ourselves, and if we're the first, that is great. So here we go, the Hobbit hole, which I had some trouble with, and I did not want to have a door. I wanted to have the big round door like in the movie, and we've managed to get the big round door like in the movie, using a bit of help and basically from you guys, because my 3 tall design that I had originally was not working, and all I needed to do was change out my sticky pistons for normal pistons, and bam, we don't destroy all of our blocks. And I think this area looks really, really cool. Look at that. Look at that. Very, very beautiful. And if you guys don't know what this area is, we've got a Patreon account. It is down in the description right now. And you guys will be able to join our Patreon server. If you guys don't know about that, look back a few episodes. I pretty much explain everything there and why these people are here. And pretty much this is where you guys get your heads put in my world to say thank you. So thank you to everyone here. We've even got more people that are meant to be added here, which we will do in the future as well. Of course, we're not going to do someone every single episode. We'll do everyone together, and it's going to be a pretty cool little ceremony to get everyone in here. And I think this area, by the way, it's a little bit of a different build, but I think it's looking really, really cool. Got the very circular area like that, and also it's not looking boring. It's got the little divots in the sides. Very, very cool. Very, very awesome. So for today, I think that will pretty much cover this world tour, guys. It's kind of just a little bit of time to walk around the world, appreciate things, of course, and as of course, get yourself a world download and enjoy the shaders. That's more important as well. So thank you very, very much for watching, guys. I'm looking super, super forward for the next 20 episodes because I'm sure they are going to be just as big as these 20 episodes. So enough said, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.